I never thought a phone call from an unknown number could upend my life like an Arizona dust storm. It was a 602 area code. Probably just another bill collector chasing me for those lingering hospital debts. I almost swiped it to voicemail, but some gut feeling made me pick up. MS. Harper. This is Dr. Elena Vargas from Desert Valley Medical Center in Phoenix. We need to talk about your son Noah's case right away. My son? My heart seized up. Noah had been gone for 7 years, buried under the relentless sun of the Southwest. Noah died 7 years ago, I whispered, my voice cracking like dry earth. I know. That's why I'm reaching out. We've uncovered major issues with his medical records. Can you come in today? It's critical. Half an hour later, I was in a bland conference room at the hospital, facing Dr. Vargas, a hospital attorney, and a detective from the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. That's when the fragile shell I'd built around my grief shattered. MS. Harper Sarah, Dr. Vargas started, her hands clasped over a thick file folder. The genetic tests we ran on Noah, they weren't his. They got switched with another baby's in the NICU. Your son had no metabolic issues at all. He was genetically healthy. 7 years of blaming myself, of carrying that crushing guilt like a backpack full of rocks on a desert hike. Then what happened to him? I asked, barely recognizing my own words. Detective Ramirez leaned in. Someone administered a fatal dose of potassium chloride through his fore. Your son was murdered. Murdered. Not my faulty genes. Not the bad blood I'd been beating myself up over every day. Murdered. We pulled archived security footage, the detective went on. It shows someone with insider knowledge slipping in during the graveyard shift. Dr. Vargas angled her laptop toward me. This might be tough to watch. The video was fuzzy. Time-stamped March 15th at 2:13 a.m., right before Noah's tiny heart gave out. A figure in scrubs glided through the dimly lit NICU, pausing at Noah's incubator. They glanced around, then faced the camera for a split second. Those eyes. That poised stance. The deliberate way they handled the syringe, it hit me like a flash flood. That's Victoria, I said, my voice empty as the vast Sonoran desert. That's my ex-husband's mother. And just like that, the pieces of my nightmare snapped into place with chilling clarity. To make sense of what Victoria did, you need to know about Ryan Caldwell, the man I married. He wasn't always the villain in my story, or at least, I didn't see him that way at first. I met Ryan at a biotech conference in downtown Phoenix when I was 32. I wasn't there as a big shot attendee. I was the community college librarian helping set up the resource booths. Ryan was repping his family's pharmaceutical firm. All slick suits and charming grins. He had this knack for making you feel like the star of the show in a crowded room. You're not the typical conference type, he said, catching me sorting pamphlets during a break. You look like you're actually having fun. Books don't talk back. I shot back. And his laugh was real. Easy, not the polished one I'd come to distrust later. Ryan wooed me like a monsoon romance, wildflowers delivered to the community library where I worked. Surprise picnics with tacos from my favorite food truck in Tempe. He even showed up one day to read to the kids in our after-school program, doing goofy voices that had everyone cracking up. The staff adore him. Even the dean joked about keeping him around. But Victoria, his mom, wasn't buying it. The first time Ryan took me to their sprawling ranch-style home in Scottsdale, think adobe walls, infinity pools, and views of Camelback Mountain, she eyed me like I was a stray coyote wandering into her territory. Sarah, she drawled, making my name sound like a disappointment. Such a plain Jane name. And you're a librarian? How? Folksy. Victoria was a retired ER nurse who'd married into old Arizona mining money that pivoted to pharma. She wore her status like a shield, and every chat with her felt like dodging cacti spines. But Ryan always had my back. "Mom's just looking out for us," he'd say after those tense family barbecues. "She'll warm up once we start a family." We tied the knot 2 years after meeting. The wedding was pure Victoria, a resort reception in Sedona with Red Rock views, custom margaritas, and a mariachi band. My folks looked out of place in their off-the-rack outfits, while Ryan's crowd floated through like they owned the canyons. My sister Emily cornered me at the cocktail hour. "Sarah, you sure about this? They treat us like we're the hired help." But I was head over heels. I figured love could bridge any gap. When I got pregnant 6 months later, Ryan's excitement washed away my doubts. He turned into the ideal dad-to-be, stacking parenting books by the bed, labeling vitamin bottles, downloading apps that compared the baby to desert fruits. Week 16, he'd declare over breakfast burritos, "Our boy's the size of a prickly pear. Could be a girl." I'd tease. "Caldwell men make boys," he'd insist. "It's in the bloodline 3 generations straight." That word, bloodline, would haunt me like a ghost town legend. Victoria pushed for early genetic screening. "Just to play it safe," she said, "with your side being such a mystery." My parents were foster kids from the 70s. No records. No family tree. It never bugged me before. But when Noah arrived 2 weeks early, a scrappy little fighter with Ryan's chin and my curls, none of that mattered. For 10 blissful days, we were golden. Ryan dashed home from work to cradle him. I'd find them in the nursery at night, Ryan murmuring about Little League and business smarts. The Caldwell legacy he'd pass on. Then day 11 hit like a hubbub. Noah wouldn't nurse. His fever spiked under the harsh Arizona sun filtering through the windows. The pediatrician rushed us to the ER. And suddenly we were NICU residents, watching machines keep our boy alive while docs whispered about enzyme deficiencies and inherited disorders. The memory that sticks like burrs on a hike isn't Noah's last breath, it's 2 days prior. In that stuffy consult room plastered with DNA posters. Ryan's face as the geneticist explained the alleged rare mutation from my side. The way his grip on my hand loosened, like I was tainted goods. "You're bad blood," he hissed in the hallway, while Noah fought for life just down the hall. "You did this to him. For 7 years. I swallowed that poison whole." Noah's slide was swift and merciless. Day 11.
No feeding.
By nightfall, his temp hit 104, his cries fading to pitiful mews that screamed wrong to my mom's instincts. The NICU swallowed us, Noah wired to beeping monitors tracking his failing 3-week-old systems. Ryan translated the jargon with growing alarm: acid buildup, enzyme shortages, cellular breakdowns. I camped in that vinyl chair for 2 weeks. Ryan popped in and out, his visits shortening as hope dimmed. At first, he squeezed my hand during doctor rounds, grilled them like a pro. But the vibe shifted after the initial gene tests. "Inconclusive but worrisome," the specialist said. "Looks like a recessive trait. Probably from a shared ancestry." Ryan's questions turned pointed. "What about Sarah's background? Her folks were in the system, no records." The doc nodded. "That does make tracing tricky." "My family's clean for generations," Ryan countered sharply. "Full medical histories.
No glitches."
Our marriage cracked not when Noah passed, but 3 days earlier in that room with helix diagrams everywhere. "Your cousin Mia," Ryan accused, wheeling on me. "The one who died young. You said it was a hiking accident." "It was," I stammered. "But she was always tired before that. Chronic issues, right? Your aunt mentioned it at the wedding." Fatigue syndrome, nothing genetic. How would you know? He snapped. You don't even have your grandparents' medical files. And now our son's paying for your blind spots. Victoria rolled in that night, fresh from her Scottsdale golf club. The second Ryan texted her. Her nursing creds gave her instant clout with the staff. She pored over charts, quizzed nurses, huddled with Ryan in corners that went silent when I neared. We need another opinion, she declared. I know the chief at Mayo Clinic, but time was slipping away. Noah's organs were shutting down. The specialist laid it out gently, likely a metabolic disorder. Toxins accumulate without the right enzymes. Some kids manage long-term, but this aggressive onset. He trailed off. We all knew. Ryan's eyes iced over as he faced me. Your flawed DNA is killing him. The words lingered like smog in the valley. Even the nurse tweaking Noah's for averted her gaze. Ryan. This isn't on anyone, I pleaded. No, he cut in. These things get handed down from lines that shouldn't propagate. The implication stung. People like me, unworthy of kids. Mom warned me, he added coldly. Insist on full screening pre-wedding. Your unknown history's a red flag. I stuck up for you. Said love conquers all. Now look. Our son, I murmured. He's ours. Dying because of you, he said, adjusting his watch like prepping for a sales pitch. He stormed out, and I sensed the end. His shell showed up for the final vigil. Signed forms. Attended the service in his tailored suit. But the Ryan who'd teared up at Noah's birth? Gone for good. Noah slipped away at 2:13 a.m. On March 15th. Ryan was in the chapel, Victoria, grabbing coffee. I held his hand so low as alarms wailed, begging forgiveness for the curse I thought I'd passed on. Divorce papers hit my mailbox post-funeral. 7 years. I lugged that shame like a monsoon flood. I holed up in a tiny apartment above a taqueria in Mesa, where salsa scents at dawn were my sole solace. I shelved books part-time at a local indie store, dodging family reading hours. Life narrowed. Work, counseling, rare dinners with Emily when she could swing a sitter, and even then, she shielded her kids, fearing my bad genes might rub off. Ryan rebuilt on Noah's ashes. The $400,000 insurance windfall, for genetic-related deaths only, seeded his new drug distribution venture. He remarried into Phoenix Elite, snagged a McMansion in Paradise Valley, fathered twin girls he flaunted on Instagram.
Me?
I murmured regrets to Noah's snapshot nightly. Until that call from DR. Vargas flipped the script. In the sheriff's office, Detective Ramirez unpacked boxes of horrors. Victoria's diaries, elegant leather tomes in her precise script, like her holiday cards. February 20th, he read. Ryan's tests confirm Huntington's risk. 50% transmission odds.
Can't taint the Caldwell name.
Options needed. Ice in my veins. Ryan carried Huntington's. Victoria knew pre-Noah. February 25th. Sarah's murky past is ideal camouflage. No family records. Blame shifts easy. Entries chilled deeper. Potassium doses researched. My NICU naps timed. Even grief rehearsals. Act stunned. Not overwrought. Fuel Ryan's rage at Sarah. There's worse, DR. Vargas added. The policy on Noah. Effective day 2 post-birth. Ryan beneficiary. Payout only for genetic fatalities. $400,000. His startup capital. They cuffed them at dusk. Victoria at her bridge club in Fountain Hills. Ryan mid-board meeting at his firm. I observed Victoria's questioning through glass. Even shackled, she sat ramrod straight. Silver hair impeccable. My grandson suffered. she stated flatly. The defect from his mom's side caused agony. I showed mercy. A defect that wasn't real, Ramirez countered, slapping down Noah's true results. Healthy across the board. Her mask slipped, just a flicker.
Impossible.
What's impossible is offing a healthy infant to hide Ryan's flaw. He laid Ryan's results beside. You erased him for Caldwell perfection. Victoria's tone stayed crisp as ever. You don't get legacy building. The Caldwell rep, generations of grit. Ryan's a star. I shielded him from his breakage. The world couldn't know our lines soiled. So you soiled my name instead, Ramirez pressed. She was a nobody, Victoria shrugged. A small-town librarian.
No pedigree.
Her pain? Small price for Ryan's path. Blaming her toughened him up. I watched my ex-mother-in-law confess to infanticide as casually as critiquing my potluck dishes.
No regrets.
Just ledger balancing on lives. Ryan's session was a meltdown. Hit with proof. His mom's words. His own genes he shattered. I didn't know, he sobbed. The policies seemed smart. Mom said it was Sarah's fault. I trusted her. You cashed the check, Ramirez said flatly. Built your empire on blood money. I thought it compensated my loss from Sarah's mess. What about her loss? 7 years thinking she doomed her kid? Ryan glanced at the mirror. Blind to me. For a flash, I saw my old husband, the one who danced with me under desert stars. Then his attorney swooped in. Walls rebuilt. The trial dragged 6 months in Maricopa Superior Court, packed with gawkers and media from Tucson to Vegas. Testimonies peeled layers, switched samples, hospital glitch. But Victoria exploited. Diaries as blueprints. Emails post-death plotting the genetic narrative and payout splits. Victoria in orange.
Sans pearl?
Heard the gavel. Guilty. First-degree murder. Life.
No parole.
At 68. Prison walls would claim her. Ryan got 20 years for accessory after the fact and fraud. Those damning messages sealed it. Victim impact statement, the judge asked. I rose. Steady as saguaro. Emily and Mom front row.
Teary.
Behind. My bookstore boss.
Dr.
Vargas. And shockingly, Ryan's ex-wife Mia, divorce filed post-arrest. With their twins. She'd reached out. They need to know their half-brother. Your Honor, I started. Voice echoing. 7 years. I thought my genes killed Noah. Lost my marriage. Home. Job confidence. Family closeness. Worst. Pure grief writes. While I drowned in blame. His killer golfed and posted grandkid pics. Facing Victoria. You ended him over Caldwell, purity, fearing Huntington's taint. But Noah was flawless, not genetically, but in love. His short life knew only that. That's true legacy. Victoria stone-faced, Ryan wrecked, tears streaming. Hospital settlement and Caldwell civil win netted $2.8 million. I gave a chunk to genetic support nonprofits, aiding real needy families. Another to a Southwest Innocence Fund, wrongful blames hell I knew. Rest bought a cozy adobe in Flagstaff, with a garden blooming yucca around Noah's birthday. I counsel grieving parents now at a Phoenix center. Sharing. Tragedy isn't always fate or fault. Truth heals. Even ugly. Ryan's twins, Ava and Zoe. Visit monthly with Mia. We flip through Noah pics. Chat his story lightly, they know he existed. Loved. Later. Full truth. Not for pain, but to teach worth beyond DNA. In hearts. Mantle holds Noah's photo. Plaque. Noah Caldwell. Brief life. Endless love. Truth mended mom. Last grave visit. I read a letter aloud. 7-year saga. Then burned it. Ashes scattering on canyon winds. You weren't flawed, little one, I whispered. Neither was I. But as months passed post-trial, something shifted. Prison letters arrived, Victoria's elegant script on lined paper. First, curt regrets. Legal mandated, maybe. Then deeper, childhood tales. Her dad's mining failures. Pressure to perfect the family. I broke under it, she wrote. Saw Ryan as redemption. Noah as threat. I didn't reply at first. Rage lingered like summer heat. But counseling others, I saw cycles. Hurt begets hurt. One day, I wrote back. Not forgiveness outright, but questions. Visits followed, awkward. Glass divided. She aged fast. Regrets etching lines. I stole your son, she admitted once. Voice breaking. To save mine. But I doomed us all. Ryan wrote too. From his cell. Huntington's loomed. He'd tested positive. Symptoms nascent. Mom hid it to protect me. I lashed at you to cope. Therapy sessions via phone. Raw. Painful. He owned his blindness. The fraud. I believed the lie because it hurt less. Slowly, a fragile bridge formed. Not reunion, too shattered, but understanding. Twins' visits included his letters now. Sanitized. Lesson light but profound. Families fracture. But truth can mend cracks. If we let it. Revenge? I sought justice. Not vengeance. Humane path. Acknowledge pain. Extend olive branches where remorse blooms. Western skies taught me resilience. Storms pass, revealing clearer horizons. Life bloomed anew. Emily's kids call me Aunt Sarah freely now. No gene fears. Bookstore gigs turned into workshops on grief and genetics. Flagstaff home host support groups. Laughter echoing where silence once ruled. Noah's Foundation funds screenings for foster families. Breaking unknown history chains. Victoria's last letter. Thank you for listening. It's more than I deserve. She passed quietly in prison. Heart failure, ironic. Given her cold one. I grieved oddly. For wasted potential. Ryan's release looms distant. But we talk parole plans, advocacy work.
Perhaps.
Twins thrive. Knowing brother's story as cautionary tale on perfection's folly.
Me?
I hike red rocks at dawn. Feeling free. Truth didn't just free me, it humanized the monsters, revealing scared souls beneath. Lesson? Forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's choosing growth over grudge. In the West's vastness, space exists for both justice and mercy. As the dust settled from the trial, I found myself reflecting on how the Western U.S. spirit, rugged, forgiving in its own way, shaped my path forward. Phoenix's relentless sun had baked my grief hard, but the truth cracked it open, letting light in. I started small, volunteering at local shelters, helping single moms navigate medical mazes. It felt right, turning my pain into purpose. One evening, under a fiery sunset, Emily called. Sarah. Ryan's lawyer reached out. He wants to talk about the twins and amends. My stomach knotted like tumbleweed. What could he possibly say? Hear him out. Foreclosure. We met via video from his prison in Florence, him gaunt, eyes haunted. Sarah. I was blind. Mom's diaries. They showed me her web. And my complicity. Tears streaked his face. I blamed you to escape my fear. Huntington's, it's progressing. Tremors started. Empathy flickered. Unbidden. You built a life on lies.
Ryan.
While I crumbled. I know. The company sold it. Proceeds to your foundation. It's not enough. But we talked hours. Regrets. Memories of Noah's coups. Not absolution, but a start. Monthly calls followed.
We having tentative threads.
Victoria's decline accelerated. Her letters turned confessional. I was raised in a mining camp near Bisbee. Dad drank away fortunes. Mom preached perfection to survive. I projected it all on Ryan. One visit. She clutched the glass. I murdered innocence for illusion. Forgive me. I paused. Forgiveness is earned.
Victoria.
But I see your humanity now. She nodded, tears falling. That's more grace than I gave you. She died soon after. A quiet end. I attended her spar service, Ryan Violink. She wasn't evil, he said. Just broken. We all were, I replied. The twins' visits evolved.
Ava.
Bold like Ryan, Zoe. Thoughtful like Noah's photos suggested he might have been. Tell us about our brother, they'd beg. Stories flowed. His first smile. Tiny fists. Mia confided. Ryan's changing in there, therapy. Reading on genetics. We co-parented loosely, focusing on kids' wholeness. Foundation work expanded. Partnerships with Navajo clinics for cultural-sensitive testing. Bridging Western medicine with indigenous ways. A light lesson emerged in sessions. Genes are blueprints, not destinies. Love rewrites stories. Personal growth bloomed too. I dated casually, a kind ranger from Sedona. Hikes cleared my head, reminding me life cycles. One anniversary of the revelation. I drove to Noah's grave in a quiet mesa cemetery, wildflowers in hand. We found peace.
Buddy.
Even with them. Ashes of old letters long gone, but healing rooted deep. Ryan's parole hearing loomed. I testified neutrally. He's owning his role. Give him a shot at redemption. Approved conditionally, community service at genetic counseling centers. He moved to a halfway house in Tucson. Tentative reunions followed. Thank you, he said over coffee. For not hating forever. Hate chains us, I replied. Truth freed me to choose better. Twins thrived. Calling him Dad, sparingly. Me Aunt Sarah warmly. Victoria's estate. After legal wrangling. Funded more programs. Clear probate laws in Arizona ensured fair distribution.
No revenge thrills.
Just humane closure. Acknowledging flaws. Fostering growth. In the end, the drama's tone softened from vengeance to understanding. The West's open spaces taught space for mercy amid justice. Noah's legacy? Not tragedy, but transformation. Years on, the story's echoes fade like monsoon echoes in the canyons, but lessons linger light and true. Ryan integrated back, working at a nonprofit in Albuquerque, far enough for boundaries, close for twins' milestones. His Huntington's advances slowly. He advocates transparently, turning curse to cause. No more hiding, he says in talks. We co-author a book, Bloodlines Broken, A Family's Path to Truth. Royalties to the foundation. Of course. Twins graduate high school soon. Ava eyeing medicine. Zoe literature like me. They know the full saga now. Processed in therapy. Grandma Victoria was wrong, Ava says. Perfection's a myth. Zoe adds, love's the real inheritance. Mia and I bond over motherhood's trials, a sisterhood forged in fire. My Flagstaff life hums, garden thriving, counseling fulfilling. Ranger guy, Tom, proposed under ponderosa pines, wedding simple, desert-themed. No ice sculptures, just stars and friends. Emily's family visits often. Kids scampering free. You're the strong one, she says. I smile. We all are. With truth. The humane twist? Revenge would have poisoned me worse.
Instead,
Extending understanding, while holding accountability, brought redemption. Light lesson. Families are messy mosaics. Forgiveness glues pieces. But only after truth clears the debris. In Western vastness, room exists for both storm and sunrise. Noah's spirit rides the winds, reminding, love endures beyond genes or graves. Freedom's breathing deep, living full at last.